Hello, this is my morning video. You can follow me at Gumby9662C on Twitter and friend me if you will, and I will be giving you charts and information if you like. Some correlations that I'm looking at, these are ratios that I look at to see rotations into other sectors. And one of the rotations that I'm really taking interest in, and that's the coal sector versus the S&P 500. And it looks like that there's a very good chance we're going to see coal start outperforming the S&P 500. Okay? And a chart that in the coal space I want you to be aware of, and that is the Peabody coal. It got like a 45% pop yesterday. It's a $3 share stock, but it was a huge influx into Peabody yesterday. The next ratio that I want to show, and that's your retail versus your SPY. And this downtrend we've been in, we were going into Lulu earnings last night, which really disappointed. So this ratio, but so far this morning, the ratio on this pair has held up well. So I'm still thinking that we're probably getting rotation into retail here. Now that one chart was showing a potential rotation, and it was holding up well versus the SPY. But I do want to point out retail relative to the consumer discretionary is still the area leading to the downside. And so just keep this in mind. Retail still relatively weak versus the discretionary area. I definitely would like to see a clearing candle of this spread correlation before I would encourage people to add to longs in retail. I really think we're seeing a significant bottoming process in your energy space, in my opinion. We crossed back on pretty good volume yesterday, crossed back above this downward relationship in energy. And of course, 2 days ago, I loaded up on Halliburton, and I got scared out yesterday. 2 days ago, and I got scared out of the trade. Well, yesterday, Halliburton decided to take off, of course. But at any rate, we're probably putting in a pretty good low to enter into your energy space. Your transports versus your industrials put in a channel bottom yesterday, and we bounced off of that. And so far today, they're holding out pretty good. So just keep that in mind that your transports might start catching up a bit here relative to your industrials. Another area to really keep on focus here, I think we're going to see a significant outperformance in our casino stock. We've already seen some initial signs of it, but I do think it's going to see continuation. This relative downtrend versus the consumer discretionary seems to be changing here. Now, the home builders are giving me a little scare here. We've got a MACD cross on this relative comparison, which could just simply be reloading. It could be, the indicators could be reloading for another move higher, of course. But seeing that cross right there is getting me a little nervous about the home builders. But like I said, it just might be a timeout, and we're going to get another leg higher. But it's just something to keep on watch here. Our RSI is still actually right here in the 60 area. This is a buy zone for the housing typically, and it seems to be holding so far. So here's another energy and oil ETF. It's oil. This is the one that destroyed the hardest on the way down, and it caught a very significant candle yesterday. And so far today, the relationship seems to be holding up all right. So just keep that in mind. And the volumes are picking up. I really think that there's something going on in the energy space. And this is the other side of your oil sector. This is your services sector, oil services sector. It also has broken the relative comparison here. We're starting to see a little bit of outperformance in the energy sector. Another area I want you guys to keep on watch. We got a little bit of sideways consolidation in the Russell 1000. Okay, and the Russell for a long time now has been underperforming, but this is the growth sector, the growth area of the Russell, and it looks to me like the Russell is trying to get some outperformance versus the SPY here. Keep in mind, one of the major holdings here is like Priceline, and that's how I found this correlation and stuff. But your MACD is still pretty darn bullish here, and it does look like to me that we're setting up for higher highs in the Russell 1000. And then I also wanted to show your USO versus SPY here, and you can see we're chopping out a bottoming process right here. And I honestly think going into the Saudi IPO that hits in June, that we're probably going to get a sustained bid in crude, keeping crude prices bid up so they can get a pretty good price on that huge IPO hit in the markets in June. If you guys haven't noticed, Freeport-McMoRan FCX, it is catching one heck of a bid today. And so I looked at the copper versus the SPY, and it looks like to me that copper is going to start outperforming the S&P 500. So even though we're got a pretty good move in Freeport right now, there's probably going to be more continuation in Freeport. Freeport on the weekly, we're trying to push above the resistance support line. A close above this is quite pretty good bullish sign for Freeport. And then on the daily today, you notice that we rocketed above the resistance line today. So that's very bullish going into the end of the week for Freeport-McMoRan. So that's why I truly think that we're going to see some continuation buying into Freeport. I do think there is a lot of downside risk going into next week, and it's more evident in the Nikkei out of Japan. And the situation we have setting up right here, the Nikkei is threatening a closing breakdown below the daily cloud, and that is not bullish for the global markets. Okay, so just keep this one on watch here. We have a very thin daily cloud on the Nikkei, and it truly looks like it's about to see lower prices. And if you go on a weekly here, we're kind of dojing out on the weekly 20 SMA. So we're going to be opening next week, if at these levels here, the Nikkei is going to be opening down below the 20 SMA starting next week. So just keep this in mind. This is a very dangerous situation. Let me give you one other comparison here. Okay, to finish my video off, you see this channel we're trading in on the yen, and we're at the range highs of the channel. We are threatening a breakout of the yen out of this channel. So we do have some resistance from the cloud here, which that's thankful. But be concerned that if the yen starts breaking up higher, that unwinds the carry trade, and that causes a sell-off in the global markets. So just keep that in mind, that we are threatening a very dangerous situation going into the weekend and the end of quarter. Okay, that's all I got to say. Thanks a lot.